Hi, this is Siyanda again. I know it's been months and months and months, but I was actually trying to get a better camera, but I figured, look, I may as well post these up anyway because I've read quite a few books since the last time I did um, a review video. So I just thought today what I would actually do instead of going into detail, because there's some that I've read months ago, and I don't know if I could like still give you an accurate kind of review of every single one of them. So what I decided to do was like just give you guys a list of the books that I have read and my favorite books that I have read and give you a little bit about each one of them. And then if you are interested in really hearing more about it, I will link the Amazon page in the description box, but I will also be taking requests for full reviews that you would really like to see and that I'd be very excited to give. So I will begin by talking about the first book that I got, which was months ago, that I was so excited to get. I had been waiting forever and ever for it to come to the bookstore, but eventually I bought it on Amazon. And the first book is Open City by Teju. Now, if you know anything about kind of literature, contemporary literature, you'll know that this is probably one of the most celebrated books that we've had in the past 10 years. And I think it won like a whole bunch of awards. It came out like maybe 2 years ago. And it's by Teju, who's a Nigerian author that lives in New York. And New York, coincidentally, is the character of the book. So what he does is he kind of, his main character walks around, it's a very slice of life kind of thing, so there's no very obvious plot line. All it is kind of you being in the consciousness of the main character, Julian. As he walks through the city, recalls the past, recalls the future, thinks about bigger things, much, much bigger than himself and much, much bigger than his own life. And it's a very interesting book. I have a lot to say about it. I have not actually finished it. I will one day, but I think that if you are a person that's really interested in kind of very good writing, you would really enjoy it. If you're here for a plot line and you're here for like excitement, it's the wrong place for you. Luckily, I didn't expect any of that, and I really do enjoy slice of life and kind of streams of consciousness of people. So I think that's a good book. If you'd like for me to speak further, I have a lot to say about it. Just let me know. And then the next one is, oh wow, this one I absolutely loved. I read it on the way back from Swaziland a few months ago. I devoured it in like one sitting. I was so excited. So this book is by Khaled Hosseini, who I had not known about until I read this book, and I thought, Jesus, I've been robbed of a genius. I could have known how amazing this person is and how they exist in the world. So Khaled Hosseini is an Afghani writer that has written, I think, 3 books so far. This might be his latest one. It's already my favorite, even though it's the only one I've read. So it's called Crust. Let me see if I can get to the. This is the cover. Oh, okay. One moment. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is embarrassing. Okay, it's called Khaled Hosseini and the Mountains Echo. It's really, really, really good. It's a very good book. It's also not very fast paced, but it has many interesting plot lines that intertwine in this wonderful, beautiful way, and they kind of weave this tapestry of stories that range from Afghanistan to New York to Los Angeles to France to all over the world, about all these people that are linked by the war that happened in Afghanistan way back in the day. So I think it would be a very interesting book if you're interested in that kind of. I've said interested a lot. No, if you like that kind of like wartime stories, and not wartime, but like the consequences of war kind of thing, how they kind of really change people's lives in the biggest, broadest way, but also a story that's about the war without being about the war, which I found very interesting. It's kind of like a before and after glimpse of the Afghanistan in the 50s, which was very swanky and quite nice, and then the Afghanistan after, which was kind of flooded by refugees and expats that were trying to help the people and all this kind of thing. Again, it's been months since I've read it, so I'm really not going to say anything that's very exciting at the moment. But if you'd like me to review it again, I would love to review it. and I'll just read through it again and then give you like a better review. I know so far, and then the next one that I've read is going to be which is technically I feel like I've read this book already because I used to read the website and I used to read the WordPress blog of this person, and it's all kind of the same thing, and I don't think it's really been edited that much. It seems like word for word to me. Anyway, this is Stuff White People Like. Absolutely very funny, very like, it's satire, so of course I was won over. It's written by Christian Lander, who's just this guy who had this funny like satirical kind of view of middle class white people, and he thought, let me just write about it, and he wrote about it on his blog very consistently, like a list of things that white people like. And one of the examples that is probably one of my favorite, I'm just gonna read out the list actually of stuff that white people like. It's very funny. It's very funny. Like one of my favorite is to religions that parents don't belong to. Stuff white people like making you feel bad for not going outside. Asian girls having black friends, which I'm starting to wonder if that's really true after the statistics you've heard from the US lately. Farmers markets, diversity. So it's all very funny, tongue-in-cheek stuff. If you understand satire, you'll really like it. If you are a white person, you will also really like it, because it kind of lets you poke fun at yourself without poking fun at you quite outwardly. This is running very long. It's going to be a long video, so I don't know what to say. The next one again is also a funny book. Also, I don't know if it's satire actually. That's what I'm kind of really concerned about. Is it satire? It's written by a stand-up comedian called Jim Gaffigan. He's one of my favorite stand-up comedians because, like, I don't know. I'm gonna sound like a loser a little bit, but he doesn't really like. It's not like cheap jokes. Like there's something about a stand-up comedian that can make you laugh without cussing or without like swearing at you or without like, oh fuck, oh bitches, or like going to stereotypes, men are like this, men are like that, without just being offensive. That I really enjoy. He's like a really cookie cutter, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. He's very like white bread funny. Like he doesn't have to swear to be funny, and I just really like that. And he just has this imagination that just keeps going and going and going, and I absolutely love that. So, wow, like my bra is all up in your business. Okay. Anyway, so this is Jim Gaffigan, Dad is Fat. Love it. Chock full of deprecative humor that, I mean, usually I don't like it, but he does it very well, so I really enjoy it. Basically, this book is about parenting. He is a New Yorker who has 5 children, which is very interesting, and he brings up how people throughout his life kind of are always asking him day to day, why do you have 5 children? Are you in some sort of cult? You know, those kind of questions. It's very funny. So that's kind of like a first world view of having a lot of children, especially in a city that's as expensive as New York, and he's clearly not annoying. And kind of how he feels about going from a person that was like kind of nonchalant about having kids to now having 5 and a wife that really loves children, and kind of tells us the process of, you know, having natural births. I mean, it's very funny. Like I'm making it not sound funny. It's very funny, and I found myself laughing out loud in buses and like stuff. So it's a very funny book. You should get it. So let me know again if you'd like for me to do a review for this book, and I will do that for you. Last on my Kindle but not least, this book is in my top 10 books of all time. It's very wow. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you what it is. You probably know it. It's Room by Emma Donoghue. Wow, is all I could say. Like, wow. I remember reading the first few chapters. I mean, it's written. Okay, let me explain. It's written in the voice of a 5-year-old boy whose entire universe is in one room, and because it's written from his point of view, it starts off very bright and very like childlike. I mean, it's a little, it could get a little bit annoying at first. You just kind of have to get used to the fact that it's written by a 5-year-old boy. um, and you know, he's just in this small, very this room, never goes out. So to him, this is the universe. There's corner one, there's corner two, there's where the bathroom is, there's where the kitchen is, and that's in one room, and that's where it ends for him. So I mean, it's very interesting. But as it goes on, you find out like the darker reasons why he's only in one room, why it's only him and his mom who he's ever known, why he thinks that things that are on TV are not real, and you know, that kind of, it's very dark and also excellently written, excellently thought out. Emma Donoghue is a gem, I tell you. So again, if you'd like me to review that book, I would be very excited to do it. Now the physical books, those are all the ones that were on my Kindle and my digital publication. So these three, I'm gonna start with the least kind of one that has like blown my mind. I mean, not okay. I'm gonna leave the best for last, basically. I know I haven't mentioned any African books, so I don't know if this counts. I really think it does. So this is a book that I'm currently reading. Sarah, I don't know how do you say this. Bagnau. I'm not the boss of words. Okay. So yeah, Letters from Botswana from 1966, which was the independence, to 1974. I don't know if you know this. I live in Botswana, all my life. So yeah. So this is very interesting to me because it seems like a very interesting way of like explaining the history of Botswana without it being like that boring thing that we used to do, because I very, very much love diaries and collections of letters. There's actually a word for that thing, and I knew this word 2 months ago. I don't know it now. Epithology? I don't know. Anyway, I love kind of compilations of letters and stuff because it's very like first-hand history that is usually very interesting, and here we don't have a lot of that. So incidentally, this would be a British person kind of writing about Botswana from, as you know, as an expat that was here at the beginning of it all, kind of thing. So it's very interesting. She got I will have to dedicate an entire one to this one, actually. I really don't mind, because also I haven't finished it. So when I do finish it, I'll tell you all about it. I don't know if it's available internationally because I got it at my bookstore, but if you'd like me to send it to you, I guess I could. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. Secondly, of course, it would not be complete without Purple Hibiscus, Chimamanda, and Ngozi Adichie. Of course, I mean, really. So I got this book at my bookstore at school as well. So I was very excited to read it. Very good. I think I finished it in 2 days. Very interesting, very funny. I had a very interesting, like, I've said interesting like 200 times. Okay. Yeah, it had a very like amazing plot ending that I really didn't see coming, and I really enjoyed it because of that. But you know, it's Chimamanda, you know, expect a very high level of writing, a very interesting story that does kind of at times make her political standpoint very clear. But if you get over that, you can really enjoy it for what it is. And then my favorite, like, not my favorite, but like my most mind-blowing, as a feminist, as an African feminist, as a full-time, everybody needs feminists, your face kind of person, this was mind-blowing. My dad bought this for me in Austria. I don't think he knew what he was buying, you know. I mean, he knows I'm a feminist, and I don't think he knew what this was, to be completely honest with you. He said that he bought it because at the UN meeting or whatever he was at, there was this book that was on sale. I don't know what that means, but here it is. The End of Men and the Rise of Women by Hanna Rosin. This book blew my mind. It like blew my mind, because you see, like, as feminists, especially in a third world country, you see it from the back, like from the oppression side, from those that are of us, especially as a continent, that are still kind of neck deep in the oppression side. But you don't see what ends up if you were to really run off with this kind of, especially third wave feminist idea, which I still support first wave, second, you know, equality of equity and equality of rights and legal equality and all that stuff. But this one kind of shows what happens when people take like philosophical or spiritual, like social feminism, third wave, which was kind of really, I've never really supported it, but this is like what happens when a society really believes in it, bases its laws around it, and runs with it. And this is about kind of like this is a book by Hanna who kind of, it's about what, like, the bad side of third wave feminism. And in terms of statistics, you know, a lot of unmarried people, a lot higher divorce rate, men that don't have the identity. Actually, that's what it's about. Sorry, it's about men that have lost what it means to be men and have no idea what to do with themselves and no idea what their use is in society. In a society that has women that do everything, that do it all, you know, who are mothers, who are working, who are successful, who are doing this and that, running PTAs, running councils, and it leaves the men kind of useless. So it's very interesting to me because what she does is she goes to towns that used to have a booming kind of industrial thing, which is, I think, the other side of the story. It's also about the fall of manufacturing industry in America and what effect it has also had on the family. So it goes to all these old, like, towns that used to manufacture, that used to have huge factories, and how the men are, like, now out of work and how they've completely changed. They're alcoholics, they're drug addicts, you know, and it's the women now taking on 2-3 jobs, you know, at like service oriented, like knowledge based work, because they're more able to adapt to that. So I've been talking for so long, but I would really love to talk about this book. I will when I'm done. Actually, a lot of what I'm writing of late is based on the revelations that I've had in this book. So, God, I really made a mock-up of it, but it's a really good book. Anyway, I'm just gonna post this up. This is my first video in months. I'm not gonna waste time trying to make a better one. It's live. Anyway, bye. wait, shit. Follow me on Twitter, Siyanda Writes. Get to my website, siyandawrites.com. Yeah, that's basically it. I think I have like links to my other stuff on my Twitter, so which is more regular than what I've just mentioned. Anyway. Yeah, so just let me know on Twitter which books you'd like. Thank you all for the wonderful emails that I've been receiving about all my book reviews, and I will try to take it more seriously. And thank you for the support, and thank you for watching. Bye.